Welcome to the Art of Selling. You can pick up many books about the sales process, and today we're going to talk about a 5-step process of selling. First, there's the opening, speaking their language, getting to know them, building rapport, and taking control right at the very beginning. Secondly, there's pre-qualification, finding out their motivation so you can help them. Third, the presentation, which is mostly questions. Remember, telling is not selling. Ask them questions and come from contribution. The fourth is trial closes. Constantly be asking with tie downs, which you'll learn about later. And then the close. Now, many agents are very frightened about the close. Well, here's what happens. A close is a natural progression to a great presentation. So keep these steps in mind throughout the video as we show you some of the powerful sales techniques. Let's get started with our first part. Today we have some powerful agents that are going to be helping us out. From the buyer's side, we have Sean Kokoska, who is my son, as well as a MAPS coach from Denver, Colorado, and Dan Harker from Dallas, Texas. For the seller's side, we have Linda McKissick from Denton, Texas, and Alicia Barnes from Atlanta, Georgia. Now, the first technique that we're going to talk about is mirror and matching. This is actually matching their body language. If they use their hands a lot, you use your hands a lot when you're speaking. And if they sit there without moving any part of their body, that's how you should sit as well. Match their rate of speech. If they go fast, you go fast.
And if they go slow?
Unfortunately, you have to go slow too. The volume, the tonality, their favorite words. In essence, we're just going to communicate better with them and use the same communication patterns that they have. So to demonstrate this, we're going to have Sean help us out with the buyers. Notice that Sean comes in with a lot of energy and he speaks very quickly until he notices that the buyers speak slowly. Linda, on the other hand, goes in. She comes in with high energy, talks fast. The people talk fast, so she starts mimicking and matching the way that they use their hand movements. So watch this.
Chris, Kelly, thank you so much for taking the time to come in here. I'm real excited to meet with you guys. Tell me, how can I help you today?
Well, we're looking. You know, we don't want to make any commitments right now, but we're looking, and we've got one child, one on the way, and you know, we're thinking about having a yard, and you know.
I gotcha. Okay, so one child, that's exciting. What age?
5. He's going into kindergarten.
Oh, fun, fun. Have you got a particular school district that you guys are interested in?
Not yet. We're still determining that.
I see. Very good. And one on the way. Congratulations.
Thank you.
When's the due date?
Well, we just found out, so it'll be sometime in the summer.
Very good. Okay. Well, tell me about your goals and how I can help you achieve them.
Hey, Chris and Tamara, thank you so much for having me out this evening. Let's do this. Let me ask you a question. On a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being this is a great meeting tonight, or 1, I totally waste your time, what one thing has to happen in this meeting for you guys to feel great about it?
Oh, wow. Well, we're really glad you're here.
I'm just really nervous about selling the house.
I know. I guess a 10 would be if we nail down everything that we need to get across to you and we start moving the direction of selling our house.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Okay.
She's the organized one.
Okay, great. So what I hear you saying here, Tamara, is if we get things moving and we get going forward in the direction of selling your home, that would be a great night for you tonight?
Absolutely.
Yes.
That's
Okay.
perfectly, yes.
Great.
That was a great job. Remember, Sean came in with a lot of energy talking fast until he noticed that the people talked slow and had no body movement whatsoever when they spoke. And then Linda comes in with that high energy, speaking fast, and notices that they have high energy and that they move their hands a lot, and so did she. The second technique is alternative choice. This is where we give the client 2 choices. My kids did this all the time to me when they were young. Hey, Mom, you want to buy me a popsicle or you want to buy me an ice cream cone? Either way, they got something. Let's watch Dan and Alicia help us with buyers and sellers and alternative choices that we can give.
Chris and Tamara, I think we found a good set of homes to go take a look at. Would you agree?
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, great. Well, seeing how we were just set up today just to make sure we understood exactly what you were looking for, I'm available this Saturday at 10 o'clock to about noon or from 2 to 4. Which one of those times would work better for you?
I think to 10 o'clock? That way we could get out of the way and do our errands the rest of the day. What do you think?
That sounds good to me.
Yeah.
All right, so Michael and Tamara, we can either do two things here. We can either talk about my marketing program, which I love to talk about, and I can talk about that all day long.
Okay.
Or we can talk about your needs and your desires with your move. So tell me which one you'd rather get into first.
Well,
I think, I'd rather talk about our needs, don't you think?
yeah, no,
Yeah.
Absolutely.
we'd love to go into that.
Absolutely, and that's a great answer. That's exactly where I want you to
Okay.
go.
Weren't those great? I mean, we can do that all day long, giving people two choices. Here's a technique that just a little spin on it. Give them two choices that are exactly the same. For example, would you like me to drop by at 3 or should we set an appointment for 4? Either way, you're going to get the appointment.
I'm available this Saturday at 10 o'clock to about noon or from 2 to 4.
Either I can talk about my marketing plan to you, or if you would rather, we can talk about your wants and your needs and your desires on this move.
Yeah.
So
The third technique we want to talk about is transitions. Now, this is where you take control of the conversation. It's so much fun because when you control it, you guide it in the direction you want it to go. Here's an idea. When someone calls you on an ad call that says, I'm calling on 123 Main Street, let's transition it by saying, that's a great one. Everyone's calling on that one. So you're looking to buy a home? Let's also watch Sean as he does a transition for us.
Well, I've heard a lot about the Meadow Glen neighborhood, and I'm really interested in moving into that area. And I've heard other realtors say that they're experts in their neighborhoods. What is your knowledge base of Meadow Glen? I mean, is it someplace that you know really well?
In fact, I do. Let me tell you, I'm a buyer specialist, which means all I do is work with buyers. So as a result, I get to see over 200 homes per month. I know the market better than anybody. Being a buyer specialist, I'm an expert at negotiation as well, which means that I've tracked the average list price to sales price ratio in those areas. And the average list price to sales price ratio right now is 98.1%, where my averages are 97.3%. So on average, given your price range, I'm going to save you over $3,500, and that is important to you, isn't it?
That is important.
Okay.
Good job, Sean. Did you notice how the clients wanted to talk about a neighborhood specialist, and Sean immediately took them to a buyer specialist, which is what he wanted to talk about, controlling the conversation. Now, some people call this level shifting. This is where they say one thing and you redirect the conversation to what you want to talk about because you feel powerful talking about that subject. Here's an example for a listing. Let's say they bring up, if you'll take a 4% commission, I'll list with you tonight. You can say what it sounds like you're saying is that you really want to net the most money possible. Is that correct? And then you can take them down the path of telling them your statistics, and now you help get more people more money than almost any other agent in your area.
What is your knowledge base of Meadow Glen? I mean, is it someplace that you know really well?
In fact, I do. Let me tell you, I'm a buyer specialist, which means all I do is work with buyers. Being a buyer specialist, I'm an expert at negotiation as well, which means that
the fourth technique we're going to talk about is fillers. It's kind of like the fluff. It's just filling in some extra space so you can get to where you want to go. It's like, I'm just curious about, or gee, I was wondering. It's kind of the Columbo technique. Oh, one more question before I leave. Or, I was just thinking about this. And then you say what you really wanted to say. Now let's watch Sean and Linda demonstrate this technique.
Well, this will be our first purchase out of the city, and I've talked to other agents, and we've managed to see, well, they've promised me anyway, that I could see anything, and see as many, locations as I wanted to. Because that's important to me, seeing as many possible places.
Okay. Just out of curiosity, what does seeing a lot of different places, what does that do for you?
Well, I don't want to feel trapped in this one, neighborhood. If you're an expert in this one neighborhood, well, what about XYZ neighborhood?
Gotcha. Well, so many people, they come to me and they say, Sean, I expect to look at maybe 80 or 90 properties before making a decision to buy. And I tell them, in response, I say, I would be incompetent if I had to show you 80 or 90 different properties before I could find the right home for you. See, my job as a buyer specialist is to know the market, to know the inventory, and determine exactly what it is that you guys are looking for. See, because if you guys can get that picture in my mind of what it is you're looking for, I should be able to take you right to it.
What we'll do is our showing service will give you a call within whatever amount of notice that we've given them to let you know that people will be coming through your home for a showing.
Okay. I don't want a lot of showings of the house.
I'm just curious, Tamara, why do you feel that way?
Well, just the kids, this is already going to be hard on them, and I don't want to create more tension, you know, with strange people walking through the house.
Right, but you do want to get your home sold in 90 days and get to Denver, correct?
Absolutely.
Okay, so let me ask you, would there be something else we could do with the children, or is there a specific time that it would be worse to show the home, or?
Oh, well, that might be. Actually, the kids are out at school all day, and on the weekends they have a lot of activities. So I guess as long as we could limit showings to the daytime as opposed to the nighttime, that might help if we could. try and work
Fantastic,
around that.
guys. Now remember, fillers just kind of slow down the process. They're the fluff. We don't want to go in with question after question after question after question. We want to slow it down with, I'm curious, or hey, I was just wondering, or gee, one more thing before I leave, or here's another thought. It's the Columbo technique.
Just out of curiosity, what does seeing a lot of different places, what does that do for you?
I'm just curious, Tamara, why do you feel that way?
I hope you've enjoyed part 1 of The Art of Selling. Be certain to tune in for part 2.